Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Charles Coachman, and this is Bay Area Let's Talk. Bay Area Let's Talk Music. And I am your host, Charles Coachman. You can reach me by phone or text at 408-439-0766 or email me at bayarealetstalk@gmail.com, bayarealetstalk@gmail.com. I like to get my shows started, and we do 3 shows on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We start at 6 a.m. on the West Coast with a little bit of Bible study. Then I do a real estate show at 9 a.m., and then we go on to Bay Area Let's Talk Music. But one of the things that I like to do is recognize the people that are having birthdays, and we do it today. Let's see, Ramona Marr, one of my favorite ladies from the real estate industry who is now in the insurance industry, home insurance, life insurance, auto insurance. Give Ramona a call. Ramona is a terrific lady and one of the best people that I have worked with over the last 15 years. So Ramona, happy birthday to you. Next up is Anna Fashia. Anna was a transaction coordinator for me back 10, 12 years ago. And Anna is a terrific lady, and I've watched her, well, for a short while, was able to watch her raise her kids, but they moved to Idaho. Her and her husband have built a very nice life there in Idaho, and now they are both realtors in Idaho. So if you are in Idaho, just north of Boise, look up Anna and check them out. Give them an opportunity to help them buy your home. So happy birthday, Anna. And then one of my favorite people in the real estate industry here is Jeff Hansen, who has been a team leader, mentor, and just an overall and all-around good guy. Jeff Hansen, happy birthday to you. And if it's your birthday out there, happy birthday to you. Enjoy. Enjoy your day. All right. So I hope everyone is having a great day out there. Let's scoot on back to this. I want to make sure that we got this up. Let's see what we got. As I travel around, I'm yelling at my producer. Hey, Self, let's get this stuff done. Hey, Self. Come on, Self. Let's get this stuff done. Bay Area Let's Talk Music. One of the places where you can find what we're doing most of the time, if YouTube doesn't decide to shut me down, is the soundtrack of my life. That's one of my Facebook pages where we put memes and we put videos of some of our favorite musicians out there and some of the favorite songs that get played. And we will do that after this show again at some point this weekend. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, and that is Jay Fox of Westwood One and Jay Fox Productions. I should probably change that. Jay Fox Productions. And Jay Fox has been a DJ for nearly 50 years. When he was still a kid, he accepted a position and has been on the radio steadily ever since. So Jay Fox will be with us. And he also has another business, which he does, and that's DJing. And we'll let him talk about that next week. But I was so happy to have an opportunity to speak with him. Make sure we get up there. Jay Fox, Westwood One, and Jay Fox Productions. There's not many more people that know more about music than him. Anybody that's spinning records and doing what they do now, because they're not touching records anymore, Jay Fox knows an awful lot about music. And we're going to have some fun next Friday. So next Friday, Jay Fox, we will be checking with him because Jay has a lot of schedule changes, and we're trying to make sure that we keep this one out. Hey, and I've got a friend out here named Peter Flores. He is going to be playing in Livermore tonight, and I wanted to pull up the information. I don't know if I have it up. I'm going to check this out real quick and see if I can pull up that information for Peter Flores and his band. I know he had sent me an invitation, and I just want to see if we can get it out there for him. So This week in music, this week in rock, this day in rock, we're going to get to that, and it's a short day. But we're going to spend more time talking about Chicago. And I wanted to, they were one of my favorite bands and still are. I mean, they put out some terrific music. Let's see if I can find Peter Flores real quick. And let's see if we can pop this up real fast. I am going to pop this up for him. We're going to share this out real quick. Going to share his page and see if we can get him to show what it is here real quick. Let's go to Facebook. Let's share. Don't need to share any audio. I am just going to go up and find Peter Flores. Peter, I have known since I was a little kid. So the PTK band tomorrow night from 6 to 9 at Monica's in downtown Livermore. I want to make sure that I have that. In downtown Livermore, Peter, I have known again since we were little kids. And there's not very many people that I like as much as Peter. He is just a terrific all-around guy and just one of those people that you want to get to know. But his band is the PTK band, and they will be playing in Livermore. Let's see if I can grab that information. I'll put it up on the screen for us real quick. But let's stop sharing that, and we'll get out of there. I'm sure he won't mind that I shared his information, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's grab that. I'm going to grab his information and see if I can throw it in there real quick. The PTK band. The PTK band. Boom. So I can grab that and put that in there for us. See if I can find a place to get that in there. I'm sure that I can. Boom. Paste. Let's go ahead and pop that out of there. We'll get that in there. Peter Flores. Add a banner. Peter Flores, and it's tonight. Tonight. Let's get that out of there because they posted it yesterday. So, Peter Flores, let's get that changed. Tonight. See if I can spell tonight. Let's see. They already gave me the night. Let's see if I can add the TO to it. So, Peter Flores. Boom. Peter Flores, PTK band tomorrow. Oh, what did it happen? I am not good at this. I've got to get a better producer. Come on now, Mr. Producer. Let's get this thing done. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't save it. I just said show it. So, Peter Flores, PTK band tonight from 6 to 9. And I've got a few friends with bands, and I want to make sure that I advertise them as we're getting out of the pandemic. I love to go watch these guys. So, I wished I could make it tonight, but we just can't. I've got clients that I need to pick up tonight. So, let's see. Let's take a quick look here. Kevin, can't watch live. It's date night. Be kind to my hometown. Oh, Kevin, I don't even want to mention your old hometown, except it's going to be in every line that I say. But all I got to say is one of the greatest bands of all time came from Chicago, and they are called Chicago. So that's all the bashing they're going to get tonight. Kevin, have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful time with your bride and enjoy it. God bless. All right. Let's get going on with this day in music. This day in music, and see if I can find my notes, as it was actually kind of a short day, but an important day. An important day, if only for one name. There were a couple in here. Born on this date in 1933, which is going to make him 88 years old. Willie Nelson, born on this date. Willie Nelson, one of my favorite all-time performers and singer-songwriters. He has done some unreal songs. And, well, the last show that we saw him do wasn't such a great show, but we did get to see him a couple years back in Oakland. We thought they were taking a break, but they were gone because the show was less than 45 minutes long, and I paid a bunch of money for it, and I was not happy. But we did get to see his bus pulling away while we were still trying to get out of the building. So, you know what? Willie Nelson, God bless you. A couple of his biggest hits were Always on My Mind, To All the Girls I've Loved Before, him and Julio Iglesias. But he had so many other songs. One of the biggest albums I ever listened to and still enjoy to this day was the Outlaws album. Him and Waylon Jennings and Jesse Coulter and Tom Paul Glasser, they put out an amazing album. Here I was in high school, big rocker. But man, you put on that country and western with Willie Nelson, I was right at home. I was right at home, 17 years old, and saying, you know, I think I should have a beer. I think I should have a beer. But that wasn't to happen. But I did enjoy Willie Nelson, and I still do. Some of the songs that he put out were just amazing. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Doesn't get much better than that. We have been to see him a few times and have enjoyed him. We enjoyed him the last time too. It was just that it was much too short for our liking. The last time we'd seen him, it was a 2-hour show. And so we thought they were taking an intermission this time, and was not happening. They weren't coming back. There was already smoke. There was already smoke coming out the bus windows. So, Willie Nelson, happy birthday to you. God bless Willie Nelson. 1943 on this date, singer Bobby V, actual name Robert Viline. Robert, born in Fargo, North Dakota, his big hit was Take Good Care of My Baby. Take Good Care of My Baby. A big, big hit. On this date in 1965, one of the greatest rock and roll groups of all time. Some people leave them off their list, but there is really, this is one of the top bands of all time. Put out some of the best music of all time. They've had their clashes with the authorities. They've had their clashes within themselves because two brothers run the group. But the Kinks were a phenomenal group. And as a matter of fact, up until COVID hit, they were planning on doing a reunion tour. And with Ray and Dave Davies as part of the group. But I think it's been called off now. But these guys were phenomenal. I have seen them a couple times. I saw them back in the 70s, and they were awesome. Awesome. You couldn't ask for better music. Love those guys. Love those guys. They were around the same times the Beatles started. They were around the same times the Rolling Stones started. They are and are phenomenal. And phenomenal musicians, phenomenal writers, and phenomenal entertainers. Loved them. Loved the Kinks. Let's see. On this date in 1976, Keith Moon, the Who drummer that passed away, I believe, is in 1979, 1980, apparently paid some taxi cab drivers in New York City to block off either end of a hotel that he was staying in while he went up and unloaded all the furniture and everything from his hotel room out the window. But at least he was thinking about a little safety. But we don't know if this is legend or if it's a true story. But it's been out there for a long time. So, Keith Moon, God bless you. You were a wild man on the drums, and I still love you. 1977, Led Zeppelin played the Pontiac Silverdome, and it was the largest crowd ever. 77,229 people. 77,229 people. Now, one of my biggest regrets, musical regrets, was not attending the Led Zeppelin concert in 1977 at Oakland's Day on the Green, the Bill Graham production. I had just started working a job, and I thought, you know what? It probably wouldn't look good for me to ask for a day off. I think I was in like my second week on the job, and I just said, you know what? I better sell my ticket. And now, as an old man who never got to see Led Zeppelin, because that was one of the last years that the entire band did concerts, I look back and said, you fool, you should have taken that day off. But I didn't, so I missed it. And I feel bad, but I'm okay about it. In 1983, on this date, a sad remembrance, and this is going to be it. This is going to be it for this day in rock. Muddy Waters, this day in 1983, passed away. Muddy Waters was considered one of the best bluesmen of all time, one of the best guitarists of all time, and in I can't remember what year they did it. Rolling Stone magazine referenced him as the number 17 best entertainer of all time in music. Number 17 of all time. The guy was a phenomenal, and then also had a couple of sons that followed him into the blues. So, Muddy Waters, God bless you. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Now I want to talk about some of the best music that came out of the late 60s into the 70s and 80s. The band changed a bit. Over the years because of some deaths, or at least one death changed the band significantly, and that is the band Chicago. The band Chicago. One of the guys that was part of the band was a man named Terry Kath. And he was a phenomenal guitarist. As a matter of fact, I think it was Jimi Hendrix that said he was probably the best guitarist going. That's pretty high praise for the guy that's considered by most to be the best guitarist, to say Terry Kath is probably the man. And here it was, this group from Chicago. Their music changed over the years, but you know what? They put out some unreal music. Now, this band is still touring today. Obviously, there have been several changes. I believe in the touring band today, there are only 2 original members left that are doing all the touring. But the original band was Terry Kath, Robert Lamb, this guy you know, Peter Cetera, Walter Parazater, Lee Lohane, James Pankow, and then the drummer Danny Serafin, and that was a guy that I always liked, Danny Serafin. For some reason, I always really liked him. And it might have been because one of my best friends down the street, Pep Salinas, or Pepe Ray as we called him when we were kids, was a drummer. And he always liked him. So if Pep liked him, we liked him. And he was incredible. And we listened to that first Chicago album, Chicago Transit Authority, named after their bus lines. So, and I believe the name was given to them by their producer, James Gurcio. So they had a phenomenal first album. You cannot ask for a better album than what they put out. And I just wanted to check to see if I could find some of this. If I can find the list of songs, and I may not be able to, but does anybody know what time it is? Beginnings, Question 67 and 68. I'm a Man. I'm a Man. I'm a Man was one of the greatest hits of all time. It is still a phenomenal song. Let's see. Beginnings. And I mentioned, does anybody really know what time it is? But they had a list of songs that was just great. Now, they started out dirt poor, just like all the good groups do. They were not heavily financed, but they had a sound that everyone loved and everyone grew to. I can remember, I think it was probably 1974. By the time they'd only been around for 5 years, they had enough to put out their greatest hits album. That's how phenomenal they were. Just phenomenal. But one of the guys, and I want to discuss this real quick, Terry Kath, and he was their guitarist until 1977, 1978, when he passed away. He, again, like I said, was a phenomenal guitarist. And there is a story on I believe it's Netflix, that you can find on him with his daughter searching for some of his guitars, and she was able to find him. But Terry Kath was not only a phenomenal guitar player, but he also sang lead vocals on many of their songs. But one of the greatest was I'm a Man, Color My World, Make Me Smile, Wishing You Were Here. They were some of their best songs, some of their top songs. So he was not only rocking and jamming on the guitar, but he also had a great voice. And then unfortunately, they're saying he, let's see, January 23rd, 1978, he accidentally, they are saying, this is what it's reported, is accidentally killed himself with a gun. So there were a lot of drugs going on. There were a lot of things happening. And unfortunately, he took his life. Whether it was by mistake or not, he passed away in 1978. And just, it rocked the world. It rocked the rock world. Just a sad episode. But I just want to go over some of the songs that they played. They were a phenomenal group, and I wish Kevin was on here so we could talk about it. But questions 67 and 68, Make Me Smile. Think about those. Think about the songs that they put out. 25 or 6 to 4. Beginnings. What terrific music. I'm a Man. Feeling Stronger Every Day. Now think about this one. It's Saturday tomorrow. What was the one song you thought of on Saturday? Saturday in the Park. Every Saturday, a phenomenal day when you got to hear Chicago Saturday in the Park. Just You and Me. I've been searching so long. Call on Me. Wishing You Were Here. Old Days. If You Leave Me Now. Baby, What a Big Surprise. No Tell Lover, as we start moving into the later days. Hard to Say I'm Sorry. This is now getting into the area where Peter Cetera basically takes over the entire band, and it is Peter Cetera is now the lead of the band. Hard Habit to Break. You're the Inspiration. I don't want to live without your love. Look away. You're not alone. And that was our last really, really good hit. But think about all the wonderful songs that they put out. If there was one band that was just kicking tail in the early 70s and just came out hit after hit after hit, it was Chicago. They were cranking out those albums, and in those days they did. It was one after another. And they were a hard-working band. They were a hard-playing band. They were musically fit. Every note, every chord. They were an awesome band. Now, my wife and her best friend, they went to see them a few years back, and they loved them. And they loved them. Even though there was only a couple of original members there, they got up and talked about how the band had formulated and how things had pulled together and how they're trying to keep their music alive. One of the groups that I love is a group out of Russia. I believe they are called Leonid and Friends. Leonid and Friends. And they are a Chicago band. All 99% of the music that they play is Chicago. So if you want to hear a sound that is awesome, look up Leonid and Friends and listen to their music. It takes you back 50 years ago. These guys are phenomenal. It's almost all guys and maybe one or two women. It just depends. But they are phenomenal, and they sound just like our Chicago. Phenomenal. But I just think about this, make me smile. 25 or 6 to 4 beginnings, and I'm a man. That was a double album set, and it was phenomenal. And that was Chicago Transit Authority. And then they just kept cranking them out. Feeling stronger every day, Saturday in the Park. Think about that. When you were a kid and you were out there listening to music, was Chicago not one of your favorite bands? When you were my age, growing up in the 70s, in the early 70s, here I was, I turned 10 in 1969. In 1969, that first album comes out, and Chicago is just cranking it. You couldn't ask for better music. You couldn't ask for tighter musicianship. And I was playing in a band, playing in the school bands, playing instruments, going out there to make the same sounds that those guys were trying to make, because we were trying to emulate not only their music, but we were also playing like some Blood, Sweat, and Tears. When I was 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and we were trying to emulate these guys, and they were just phenomenal. They were just phenomenal. We didn't do them any justice at all, but we sure thought we sounded good. But one of the best bands of all time, and we just got to hand it to Chicago for as much as they did for our music world and what they did for our lives. They were phenomenal. And I don't know how people feel about it, but I love them. And I think, you know what? Take a listen to Chicago. Go back and take a listen to that first album. The sounds were incredible. Here these guys are, horns, guitars, organs. Listen to them. They had such a tight mix, and their songs were phenomenal. So I just say, let's give it to Chicago. They were terrific. They were terrific. Well, this is Charles Coachman, and this is Bay Area Let's Talk Music. And today it was almost all about Chicago. One of my favorite bands, and just a little bit different thing in the rock world at that point. because almost everything was all about guitars, all about guitars and loud vocals. But these guys made it happen. They made it happen. Well, again, I am Charles Coachman. We're doing Bay Area Let's Talk Music, but we also do the Soundtrack of My Life, and I just put out a new journal called the Soundtrack of My Life Journal, and it's available on Amazon. We are going to have a second one coming out, the Soundtrack of My Life Journal, Top 100 Hits of 1977, and we are going to be looking at this, and we're going to be doing our third one. We're going to do the top hits of the 1950s, and when you get to see the top hits of the 1950s, it's incredible. You will not believe the music that was out in the 50s. And when you get a chance to get the journal and take a look at it, please do. Again, Charles Coachman, this is Bay Area Let's Talk Music. It is music on and world off. Have a great weekend. And again, if you would like to see us more, join us for our Bible study in the mornings. Join us for our real estate classes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we would love for you to join us for Bay Area Let's Talk on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the afternoon at 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. God bless. Look forward to seeing you again next week. And remember, Jay Fox next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye.